Flying high over Bagan in central Myanmar, this huge plain boasts some 4,000 temples dating back centuries. Yet in spite of sites like this, the country's travel industry is the least developed in Southeast Asia. One reason, a boycott by many operators and tourists to stop money ending up in the pockets of the country's military rulers. But more and more people argue it is possible to travel here with a clear conscience.
I came on the premise that, as far as possible, I wouldn't stay anywhere state-owned, but would try to stick to private businesses, to stay in privately run guest houses and have contact with local people, as long as that didn't put them at risk, so that I could build up my own idea of the situation here.
The situation was all too clear in 2007, when the government brutally clamped down on tens of thousands of peaceful protesters. More than 3,000 were arrested, many imprisoned for sentences of 65 years or more. Papa Lay was lucky. He got out after a month, but his third time behind bars. His troupe of comedians, the Moustache Brothers, is banned from performing in public, but keeps its shows going for tourists.
Tourists come, you know what happened here. Tourists go everywhere, four corners. And then, tourist camera, tourist eye, tourist ear. That's what we need.
Myanmar doesn't want to have contact with Westerners. By boycotting the country, we can only reinforce the opinion within Myanmar that it should be kept separate from the rest of the world.
The regime is wary of opening up the country to the prying eyes of tourists. Much of Myanmar is off limits, so visitors tend to see the same handful of sites, leaving most Burmese untouched by tourism.
Here we don't benefit because tourists don't come here. It's just the government who benefits.
The number of tourists visiting Myanmar and the trickle of income they bring remains small. But perhaps more important is the link tourists can provide between an isolated people and the outside world.